Da-da. All right, well, hey there, everybody. It is 2 hours UTC, and this is Astronomy Daily Live. All right, well, hey there, everybody. It is 2 hours UTC. Oh, that's me. Hold on. And this is Astronomy. Forgot to kill that window. Always something. All right, cool. All right, well, welcome. Come on in, everybody. Take a load off. Gather in the circle of friends to just sort of sit back and relax a little bit and think all things astronomical. And yeah, what better way to get started than to look at the Earth from space? So it's always a magnificent view, and Bobby has captured his second image, or is this just one of many? Bobby, hey there.
It's what's up, Cos? Well, the image that I captured on the Discord was from a NOAA 19. Now, if you want, I can always get other images out of that audio file. Like I can get like the sea temperature, the temperature.
Oh wow!
I can give you like the normal variant, like weatherfact style.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. Well, let's take a quick look at that while people are piling in here. I see
There's
Tom.
Ben Scudder and Uncle Bill.
Uncle Bill is in the house. How
do you enjoy the story party last night?
Discord. You know what? I pooped out. I pooped out really fast. I think I was there for. The last thing I saw was M51, the Whirlpool Galaxy.
I really stayed up until midnight to watch that stream.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I was watching it and I was all enthusiastic, and then all of a sudden, just like bam, just gone, just gone.
Like
so,
just slept all throughout the night, and while you're watching the feed.
I was just gone. Yeah. So,
like,
all right.
Forget the world. I'm in la-da-dee-da.
Just forget it. All right, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do that. And this one's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Now you're on the dead right. You should see Florence.
This over here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet. So I don't see any timestamp or anything like that. So when was this taken? I can't really see anything.
This one was about 4:50 Central. So that's like 17, 18, 19. About 21:51 UTC.
21:51.
And the past time limit was about 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty amazing.
And what's also good about it, it was passing right up top of my head. Almost to the top of my head, too.
Yeah, well, that much is obvious. You can see the whole state down here. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so like you can see like Texas, Arkansas,
yep,
Puerto Mexico.
Yep.
But as long as you're seeing Florence, you should be all right, right?
So how true are these colors?
Well, they're in WX2. I IMG, you can actually like select the best image, and then you just tell it to save it, and it's gonna like save it into like a special folder. And I found that special folder and uploaded it to the Discord.
Cool. Yeah, so pretty awesome. Great way to start thinking astronomical is to sort of, put yourself into so-called space. Now, of course, being here on Earth, we're all in space, right? We're all in space. In fact, Buckminster Fuller, right? He called this spacecraft Earth, right? Operating manual for spacecraft Earth, something like that. Yeah. So even he identified it as.
Did you see Pamela Gay at that star party?
No, I didn't. As I said, I petered out really, really early, but it sounds like it got.
Dr. Gay was there too.
Yeah, it got pretty interesting there. So very, very cool. I definitely want to catch a little bit of that. So I know that it stays on Twitch for a day or two, at least. So yeah, I'm gonna try to catch.
Now I would love to like pull images from GOES, but I really don't know how you can capture GOES and stuff. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Uncle Bill, for the link.
Yeah, cool. Cool. All right. Well, so that is really nice. It's a good way to start the Astronomy Daily live stream, is to give ourselves new perspectives, and I hope that this live stream is doing that to a certain extent, because I lean on those three sort of pillars of science, which sort of makes it all go, right? And that's curiosity, and then there's skepticism.
Uncle Bill, if you can you post that same link on the Discord just in case, please?
Just in case. And the third pillar is open-mindedness. So those three things can really propel you through a lot of things, and you'll do it in a scientific way. And that's potentially pretty satisfying. So speaking of satisfaction, here's the hydrogen hydroxide again, HOH. So cheers. I think that's a pretty fresh batch. So very, very nice.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I know what's the frequency for these satellites, and then maybe I might be able to try to capture them.
Oh, GOES? Yeah. You should be able to find out, but I would think that it'd be pretty high frequency, because they want to push a lot of data really fast. And so I'm thinking that it's going to be pretty high up there. I don't know, gigawatts? I'm not exactly sure what the bands are, but I've heard of like the K band and the U band and the X band, but I don't know where those are. I don't know what those are. So Atta is in the chat, and we did notice your not being here yesterday, and I remembered earlier today that, oh yeah, you were going to be going to the local astronomy club meeting. So yeah, hope that went well. Feel free to make any kind of report that you would like to, either here or like on the Discord server. Yeah, yeah. So hope you had a good time. Hope
Yeah,
it
I hope
was.
you slapped that dude that you was talking about in the face.
Yeah. Well, I think that at least my hope is right is that they're going to work something out. So because yeah, as I said about that, and I'll keep it short. It's like, well, uh, would I charge? No, no. But I'm not necessarily going to stop anybody else if they want to. Um, but I think, at least in a free market, right, the uh, people who pay for exactly the same thing that I give are going to be start wondering why they're paying, right, and they're going to stop. So he's going to have to change his game somehow, hopefully improve, right?
Yeah,
So
well, I don't know, like, why do they want to go with that type of option anyway if it's going to be a waste of time?
yeah, I I mean, as I said, I've changed my tune a little bit about how I think about charging for looking through telescopes, and
Now, I can understand donating is okay,
mhm.
but charging them to do something like that I don't think it's going to be anybody's cup of tea.
Well, if he's been the only game in town, so you know people either, well, they have two choices, right? Either pay up and get to look, right, and get the other questions answered and all that kind of stuff, right? Because he's probably a pretty knowledgeable dude, right? Probably. So, so either pay up or you know just don't look. Well, Atta comes along and says, "Well, hey, I'll show you exactly the same thing he's doing, and she'll do it for free." Well, I think that people are going to gravitate that way unless he changes his game, right? Now, I don't I don't necessarily mean improve his game, because he could get really nasty, right? He could. I don't know exactly what, but people can do that.
I actually, like on Facebook earlier today, I actually met someone that's more local, but he used to be an amateur radio operator. He's about to go back in the hobby and stuff, and he was telling me about like a hurricane net they used to be on. He's not sure if that net is still on, but he also told me that way back when there was no such thing as a 20-meter band or any smaller than that.
Hmm.
So there's like 180, 80, 40, and a 10, but you never heard of a 20,
Hmm.
30. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm.
And I can understand. He probably doesn't know that things change over time. There's a lot of days. It's not just in the short waves anymore. They're all around the radio spectrum. And
Everywhere.
but it's also crazy about what's going on in the world radio unless disaster strikes.
Yeah, that is very, very true. Everybody still knows, or at least hopes, that there are some radio people out there when there's an emergency. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, cool. So yeah, I think that Atta is going to change his behavior, and hopefully for the better. Hopefully for the better, because now it's like, if I'm going to pay this guy to show me something, I really want to see something, right? or I want to learn, you know, or I want to, you know. So yeah, he's just going to have to change his game, and you know, there's room for, you know, I mean, technically, right? Uh, one person every day of the month, right? Uh, so yeah, you know, 29 to 31 people or so, doing it once a month. You could have a star party every night. That's probably not too hard to do. And,
No,
you
they
know,
always say Mazel Tov.
yeah. And, you know, probably half of those nights are going to be cloudy. So now you only need, you know, 15 people or so to cover most of the clear nights.
And also, I was having trouble in the YouTube chat again.
Hmm, having trouble. Well, keep trying. Yeah, you might have to, you know, restart your machine. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who
I
knows?
almost couldn't have to reboot my router and stuff. Couldn't load the GOES thing.
Huh. All right. Well, cool. Hey, I was looking at a recent paper, and I wanted to share. You know, we don't really even need to look at the paper itself. I just wanted to just point something out that I don't quite understand. That, you know,
Yeah,
I,
now
I
I
don't
can
have a
see her
logical
now.
explanation. Good. All right, so I'm going to hide that. I'm going to come over to this paper. So, and I hope you can see this. You should be able to see this. I'm going to go down to the end of the paper where there are some pictures. Some papers, you know, they put all the pictures and all the figures and everything, you know, in with the text. And other authors put all of their images and tables and everything else at the end of the text. And you know, I like to have them in line because then you can sort of reference them, you know, because usually if a table or an image or a figure or anything is on a particular page, probably on that page somewhere is a reference to that. And so it's sort of, you know, easy. If you have to flip between pages, that makes it a major pain. So I think it's a lot easier to probably, you know, write and organize. So this way is good for the author, but I think the other way is good for the reader. Okay, so they show this image, and this is an image of an asteroid, 3200. Did you see the title? Yeah, 3200 Phaethon. So these were just observations that the HST took. I'm hearing a echo, Bobby.
Alright, let me, try again.
Okay, how about now? Oh, I can
Okay,
still hear.
now, yeah, let me, look at that website and I'm gonna, like, rejoin.
Okay, Bobby will be back. So here is the asteroid itself, right? And this is sort of an unusual asteroid. It seems to be sort of active like a comet, but it has the orbital characteristics, I think, of an asteroid, of a regular asteroid. So it's a little unusual, right? And what this image is showing, marked here, is some identified defects in the image, right? So there's this big thing across here, which is marked A and A prime. Then they have diffraction spikes. Okay, and that's caused by the structure of the secondary mirror. The secondary mirror is being held in the middle of the telescope by these very, very thin sort of like fins. And optically, what that does is it distorts the image slightly and puts on these rays, right, which are called diffraction spikes, because that's what the light is actually doing. It's diffracting around this thing that's holding the secondary mirror. So that's B and B prime, right? There's this one, and then there's C and C prime, right? And that is the other one. So these are the diffraction spikes. Okay. They also identify D, right? And D you can just sort of barely see here, but it's here and sort of here, right? And they identify that as CCD bleeding, right? If pixels become saturated, those electrons can essentially spill over into pixels next to them, and so they usually spill along columns like this. And it's only because this thing is saturating a little bit, so you get these this weird bleeding effect. And then there's a bunch of other optical things, internal reflections and whatnot. Oh, I hear Bobby is back. Yeah. Are you back? Can you hear me?
Hey.
There you are. Hey. Oh, I can still hear the echo though.
Oh.
Still hear the echo.
I don't have any echo here.
Yeah, I can hear it here. I can hear it here. Well, I'll just I'll keep you low, and
all right.
That'll be that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and reboot.
Okay. Excuse me. So yeah, and the rest of these things are just internal reflections and weird things, right? Which are all identifiable, right? They've got them all. Even this little ghost here, right? Which they actually aren't quite sure what that is or what is causing that, but they've at least identified it, right? It's like it's there. So yeah, this is sort of what I would expect to see, right? But then they show a zoomed in view here. And what the caption is pointing out is this diffuse feature extending to the south. Okay, so what they're talking about is this thing right here, right? This thing. So I understand that, right? It's like, okay, they've pointed it out. It's like, okay, that's kind of interesting, right? And so then I see the diffraction spikes, right? There's one pair, and here's another pair, right? But what's bothering me about this image is that because I don't I'm not quite sure that I know of any kind of mechanism that would cause bleeding in one direction. When CCDs bleed, they sort of bleed on both sides. So you just, bleh. So I can't really account for this feature at all, which isn't mentioned in the paper whatsoever. So let's see. Let's just make sure of that. Figure 5. Figure 5. Top panel of figure. Oh, okay. Oh, that's the only one. Okay, so they don't even talk about this image in the paper. Let's do another. Let's go fig. Whoop. Fig 5. Let's see if it does. Figure 2, figure 3, figure 4. Okay, so the short exposure images do not suffer from guiding drift and are affected by far fewer trail field objects than the long exposure images. As an example is shown in figure 5. No co-moving point sources are apparent in the HST data. But oh, you're back.
Yeah, I switched operating systems.
Okay. Well, I don't hear an echo now, for what it's worth. Okay, so I've gone back to the chat really quick. So very enthusiastic and nice, cool. Yeah, good. So you had a positive first experience. That's nice. That's nice. And you know, I think that one of the great things about astronomy, Atta, is that there you can engage it at pretty much any level you want, and you can go as broad and as deep as you want, or as narrow and deep, or broad and shallow. I mean, it doesn't really matter because there's so much. So yeah, you're definitely going to meet all types, and so sophisticated. I think that's a matter of perspective, because I actually have found that for the most part, everyone I've ever met has been pretty amazing, right? Pretty complicated, and so yeah, to think that this is a little bit more sophisticated than that. Yeah, I think it's a matter of perspective. Yeah. Cheers to perspective. All right, well, cool. So yeah, I wanted to point that out. That there was just something strange that I didn't quite understand in that paper. And I think I made a link to it in over on the Discord. So yeah, check that out if you wish. Yeah, see, they're just figure 5. So yeah, I as I said, I can't account for this because that doesn't look like normal bleeding, and if this is pretty much the same thing as this, well, this bled on both sides, right? There's an upside and a downside. So if this is bleeding, then where is it down here? I don't know.
And Uncle Bill, I think about what I wanted to do is reach out to Gunther about those GOES satellites and stuff, find out what the frequencies are and stuff, because it usually doesn't have the frequency information and stuff. And that's on the Discord.
Cool, cool, excelente. All right. Well, anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that was kind of interesting. Can't really account for that for this thing. It's a little weird. Just a little weird. All right. Well, let's see. We're about halfway through, or so, something like that. So let us stop sharing for a moment. And I think that we should probably, what we haven't done in a little while, and I'll bet you that there are some updates, because it has been a little while. We should go over and take a look at Mars, see what Mars is up to, looking at it through the HiRise, imager that's on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. So let's go over to HiRise's website and see if there's any new images. They put out, they put them out in bursts. So it's not as if it's every day. It's like, what, maybe every month, every couple of weeks. But they put them out in these bursts. So you get 200 images all at once, just bang, right? So let's go over there and take a look. I'm going to share my screen. And let's see. We'll do it this way. I don't remember URL. Here it is. High resolution imaging. Oh, I lost it. All right, let's go to the catalog. Ooh, 4th of September. That was 10 days ago. So that's some relatively new stuff.
Not too bad.
Let's see. A fan with inverted channels. So what I like to do is I like to go to just the straight, non-mapped, black and white, big JPEGs. Usually pretty big. So we let this load.
Check the chat about what Akawa is saying about that dude.
Okay, let me, let's see, the local group is also actively involved in the local observatory. Actually knew more about web research, so I was able to contribute something to the meeting right away. Club knew about the guy who charges for the star parties, and they did not approve of that. Like me, they're okay. They're charging for teaching courses, but not the viewings. By the way, I am paying attention to what you're showing, Cosmic. Just wanted to impart Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can multitask here a little bit, no problem. Well, good. I'm glad to hear a nice positive report. So very cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun to get involved in those kinds of groups, because most of the people there, as you probably noticed, right, are like, really into it, right? So they're not just sort of casual, right? They're like into it. So I really dig these layers. See these layers here? It looks topographic, right? Looks very 3D for sure. And I always imagine, or at least I try to imagine, what it would be like to be, walking around this, right? On the ground there, looking up at it, It's got to be pretty spectacular. And what we can do here is we can actually go back and look at the resolution, right? So a little 1 pixel, right, is about 1 meter or so in size. So, the smallest thing that you'd be able to see here would be, maybe a small car, right? That would fit onto a couple of pixels. So you could definitely see things like buildings and houses and roads and that kind of stuff. So pretty amazing, though. Sort of imagine walking around walking around the crater, yeah. But the solar angle here is very, very low on the horizon, right? So we're getting this just intense depth relief. Look at that shadow, isn't that amazing? I just like the detail, it's fabulous. We can actually, if we see if this thing is going to let me download somewhere. Let's see, this is 180914. So now we can look at it and sort of zoom in even a little bit more. Because I'd like to be able to zoom in a little tiny bit more there. See what's up. Okay, let's do it with just image viewer. A big image. And now we can really start zooming in here.
Now, this is at the moon or what planet?
This is Mars.
Oh, Mars.
Yeah, this is Mars. So there's a spacecraft in orbit, and it has this fabulous camera on it, and it's just continuously taking pictures. Weird stuff, though, Weird looking. It almost looks like a foot. See the toes there? There's 5 toes. Bones. Man, there's got to be people up there, huh? Yeah, very cool.
Now, I just don't know why did they kick that dude where it hurts like a hurt speaking does not.
Well, he's just doing his thing. So, and like I said, when Atta gets out there and is doing the same thing for free, he's going to have to change. Wow, look at that.
Pretty idiot.
Look at that thing. That's like a really, really smooth ball. However, you know, I think I'm looking at this wrong because the shadow is here, which means that that's going down. So actually, this is a crater. Wow, it looked like a smooth ball. It was these, the edge there is like super smooth. Huh. Pretty neat. Yeah, just some amazing patterns. Very amazing patterns. Wow. Yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing patterns there. Shows inverted channels within a fan region whose origin could be either fluvial or alluvial. Yeah, pretty fantastic. You can get these really high-res images here too. You have these TIFF images. Yeah, all available. But yeah, let's keep going here. Let's see. Pitted cones. Let's see what pitted cones. So slightly less resolution, right? The pixels are a little bit bigger. Let's take a look. It's got to load.
I don't remember the last time we looked at that HiRise imagery.
Yeah, I think it's been a little while. I like to come back to it from time to time and see what's up with it, what's new. Always a fantastic view. Wow, this is going to be pretty spectacular.
Yeah, Discord's talking about that YouTube chat malfunction.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Major malfunction, huh?
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of interesting. These look like cones, right? They look like they're popping out. Yeah, pretty crazy terrain. And these, you know, these structures are not small, right? These grainy little things here are, you know, several meters across. So these are big things, right? But yeah, pretty spectacular. Look at those craters. And then, you know, there's stuff in the craters. Yeah, just incredible. Weird looking craters. Look at that one. Yeah, pretty amazing. Makes me dizzy. This is a big image too.
I don't know. It's either you're dizzy or I'm getting dizzy.
That's kind of interesting, isn't it? You got 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 that look almost identical, right? And then you got this 1, 2, 3 in the middle. Yeah.
Man, awesome, man.
What's going on?
Last view of Mars, which was ages ago, still show no detail due to the dust.
Yeah, it's definitely cleared up. When we were looking at it the other night at the star party here, I could definitely see details on the surface. Couldn't really see any polar caps, but I think it's that time of year. They're a little bit small, I think, right now. So, but I definitely saw detail on the surface. So yeah, I think the dust storm is pretty much over. Pretty much over.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if that's the last time you saw Mars, was like June or July, oh wow. Yeah, it's much improved. A little bit smaller though now. Oh, where were we? I don't know. So yeah, pretty fabulous place, this Mars. Let's see. Let's keep looking here. So hopefully everybody has read the book War of the Worlds. That's a pretty fantastic book. Make sure to check it out if you haven't. Spiders in variety. I guess that. Oh, okay. Spiders in a variety of terrains. All right, I got you. So they call these little things spiders, and you'll see why here if you haven't seen them before. So it's these white things. See how they? I guess they're supposed to look like spiders, but to me they look like lightning bolts. But yeah, these things are sort of seen everywhere, and I don't think anybody has any idea what causes these. But we're also seeing, these weird black stainy things that are, sort of, I don't know if you call them lined up or what, but yeah, that's kind of interesting too. And then that's on top of this sort of smooth stuff. So yeah, lots of spiders, different concentrations of spiders, right? And here's a big bright one. So,
I always seen the new version. I never got a chance to see the old version of War of the Worlds. That was like after a while saying she saw both versions.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about the one that was done like in the 50s or 60s, yeah, that one was really good. I don't think I've seen. There's a more modern one, right?
Yeah. I think I forgot what year, but it's probably around either like my high school years or my BOTEC years. I saw the new variant.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, well, if you really want to get into it, though, you've got to read the book. got to read the book. It's the only way. H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds. He wrote a lot of just amazing sci-fi, just absolutely amazing. So yeah, pretty interesting, these spider things, right? And as I said, I mean, to me,
this is still Mars, right?
this is still Mars. Oh yeah. See, to me, these look like lightning bolts.
Probably Spider-Man's been there.
Perhaps. Ooh, 8.6 megabytes. It's a big file. So, kind of interesting, you know. They sort of these black areas, right? Are I mean, how do you even describe, right? But these black areas are like black and rough, and that's where this white stuff sort of congregates. Don't know what it is. It's just some kind of brighter material. But I don't know, you know, to me that looks like a really complicated lightning bolt. Kind of cool looking though.
I'm gonna be out there, and someday I'm gonna pull my grandparents' old radio show version off of archive.org.
Yeah, and if you, I was going to mention that one too. The one done on
There's a
radio.
show that I used to listen to on Classic Radio Theater. It's on WWCR on various frequencies.
Cool. Yeah, yeah. If you haven't heard the Orson Welles version of War of the Worlds, they did it. I guess they did it live. I guess they did it live over the radio, like in I want to say like 1930, 32, 33. Maybe it was before that. Maybe it was in the 20s. Don't remember exactly, but
I used to subscribe to a podcast which they had like the Cisco Kid.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, no, I really like Orson Welles's version. You know, the radio version that was done really, really, really well. And you know, even though I'm sure you've heard the story, right? I mean, even though.
Now, I wonder what Tom Van Scotter was talking about when it caused the panic. Some thought it was real.
Oh, it did. It did.
Sound like a news report says something about there peeps.
Yeah.
Thought it was real.
Yeah, that's.
I guess that was fake news before you ever heard of fake news.
Yeah, but see, this is what I was just going to say was that they had advertised this for like weeks or months in advance.
30s.
Yeah.
Like in 1932. That's Depression era.
Yep. Yeah, but they, you know.
I forgot when Franklin Roosevelt got elected the first time.
The first time was, I think it was, wasn't it 1922 or 1926? I think 22. Because he was in there for 4.
That was like during the Hoover era, and Franklin D. Roosevelt came when the Depression came along.
Yeah. So was he elected in 1930 then, or 1928? I don't remember what the.
Okay, Patrick Meeting, 1938 is when he was first elected as president.
38? Okay, I thought it was before that. What do I know?
Yeah.
I don't even know what these spiders are, so who knows? But yeah, really interesting.
20 or 30 fits. G brother told me a man focused in the streets on patrol with guns. He was born in 1912. Oh, it was the War of the Worlds broadcast, 1938.
1938. Yeah. Okay. That
Okay,
sounds.
so but
That
I
sounds.
wonder when FDR first got elected.
Yeah, I want to say like 19, either 28 or 30. Don't remember exactly. Easy enough to look up.
It's got to be 1930 and stuff.
Yeah, because I think well, and he served like 4 terms also.
Yeah, the only is president to do so, while the other presidents they can either serve either 1 term or 2 terms. That was before you ever heard of the 2-term amendment.
Yeah, yeah, they.
Okay, Ottawa, 1933 is when FDR was first elected, but she's not sure about that.
Okay. Yeah, something like that. Man, hard to remember all those
There's
things.
always chicken Wikipedia.
There is. There always is. But for now, we're going to stick with HiRise. Now, I'm not quite sure why there's these funny pink images here. It's sort of I've never seen that before, and it's makes me almost not want to look. But we should probably look anyway, because that's just sort of the cover image. This should be hopefully a little more interesting.
And Atta, you was born during World War II or what? I forgot how old she is.
Well, maybe she'll answer in the chat. All right, this is pretty far out. It's like this big ridge. Look at that. Wow. These little spots here. I wonder what those are. See all these little spots? Huh. All right. Well, we're going to have to look at it more closely then.
She had to think about it.
12 megabytes. Great.
Yeah, thanks, Atta. Okay, Uncle Bill, I think Atta was a post-war baby. I think you dropped 2, Cos. Yeah, you really did drop.
Come on, you can do it. All right. Am I back?
Yeah.
All right. My computer did not like that. That image was too big. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to zoom in on these, which is sort of a bummer, but we can look anyway.
So So also she was 80 years old. So she must be born like when you first heard about the Cold War.
Yeah.
When
Very cool place, Mars. Ooh, look at those. Huh. Yeah, I wish I could zoom in a little bit more, but I dare not. Freeze up the machine again. Yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing place. I'm not quite sure what these are, though. I mean, they almost look like boulders, but it's hard to tell. Maybe someday I'll be able to zoom in. All right, well, cool. Let's move on. Let us move on. So, okay, so yeah, just these last 4 here are pretty recent. Now we're getting back into the end of August. Let's see if there's anything interesting here. Interesting textures in South Polar Residual Cap. Well, that's a very tantalizing title. So I will definitely check this out. I'd really like to know, who comes up with these titles, because they're usually pretty neat. They're not just sort of like a name, right? There's some kind of, some kind of description. It's kind of neat. Nice job to have.
don't look at the shenanigans at the chat between Patrick and Alta.
Are there shenanigans? Let's see here. Yeah, RIP stream, but it has come back. Yeah. Civil War was just before my time. Good. Didn't want to have to live through that. Yeah. Well, cool. All right. Let's take a look at these interesting textures. So, hold on. What's the scale here? So 1 pixel is 73 centimeters across. So not quite a meter is 1 pixel. All right. So when we look at this, so from
I was most unique in 2007 while Patrick Manny was a class count of 64.
Cool. So from here to here, right, is probably, I don't know, 20 pixels, 30 pixels, I don't know. Let's say it's 20 pixels. So that's 20 meters across, right? So that sort of gives you a sense of size here. And, I can never tell if these things are popping out or if they're going in, right? It depends on how you interpret the shadowing. So that's sort of an interesting trick that you can learn, and that is, to see it both ways, be able to flip back and forth between these things popping out of the screen and these things going into the screen. So it's, for me, they always look like they're popping out. But I think that these things are actually going in. But sometimes it's really, really hard to get your brain to look at things that way. And man, I'm having no luck. Oh well, I'm going to keep moving. Pretty interesting structures for sure. Weird looking, you know, very artsy.
Now, Patrick, I know you did recite the Gettysburg Address, but did you have to recite that dude from Julius Caesar back in English class?
I thought everybody has to do that.
And you're supposed to like try to remember every single word of it too.
Yep. Otherwise, you're just a big failure. Pretty amazing structures. Supposedly, you know, sort of like that for, you know, at least millions of years. But yeah, just look at that. It's just, it'd be so neat to walk around on something like that, on something that's smooth. Yeah, must be amazing. Hopefully someday we'll be able to, in some way. I don't know if you'd like to drive like a rover through all that. I don't know. That's probably a little rough. But it'd be interesting to sort of be dropped off, right? And then you can sort of walk around all in this and everything. And then when you want to, you can just, you know, sort of push a button and they raise you back up. Pretty cool, though. Let's see what else we got, and then we'll get ourselves out of here for today. Ooh, I went all the way back to the beginning. Didn't mean to do that. Let's go back one. Lyot crater dune monitoring. Let's see what this has to show us. Big image. Yeah, very big image. So a little dark, a little funny looking, but okay, here comes all the weird stuff. Wow, look at that. Just out of nowhere is this bare area with just rock. No dunes. What? Here's some bright stuff. Look at that. Piled up there. Huh. That's pretty crazy. That's getting very bright. Not much contrast.
And thank you, Uncle Bill, for telling me about those GOES satellites and stuff. I might try to do it if weather permitting tomorrow. See if I can decode something like that. But you may never ever would know.
Look at these crazy patterns. Look at these crazy patterns. Wow. That's pretty crazy. Is that the one that was, yeah, that's the same one. Yeah, pretty weird looking, you know? Pretty weird looking. That's a big image. Well, cool. Let's do one more and then call it. There are deposits in 3 craters. I'd still like to show you all the Dust Devil trails, but I have not seen any of those in a really long time. Used to see them all the time. Cones and craters. Bonestell crater. Ridges and valleys. Ridges and valleys. Ridges and valleys. So yeah, I will have to catch some of Fraser's and Skylius's show from yesterday. I encourage you all to do that.
Yeah, and they did on Skylius's server. She has a special channel where you can go and you can look at the third-party images.
Cool, very cool, nice. Yeah, well, they've got an amazing instrument there, and you know, for what they want to do, that's like the ideal. It's perfect. It really is. So yeah, I mean, it's extremely obvious, and this is what makes me happiest, right? Is that it's extremely obvious that Fraser is having a great time. He is really enjoying the whole thing, and that's what really makes me happy. Is that it's nice to see him, who's been doing this for so long, finally, you know, reap some of those things that he sowed. And he is, and I think it's great. I think it's great, and you know, it's getting a lot of people excited, and you know, a little cause for Gesundheit.
Thanks.
A little, you know, pause, you know, just for a moment, and you know, consider what we're looking at here. And how amazing it is, right? So yeah, those kinds of things. If it you know, gets people excited and really interested in astronomy and science, and just, you know, giving ourselves different perspectives is at least what I've learned, right? Is that it really helps in you know, either understanding how things are, or you know, accepting how things are, and you know, going with it and seeing how absolutely amazing it is. So all right, cool. Well, I think let's end this for today. So yeah, it's always great to take a look at Mars for a little while from time to time. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. I could look at those for quite an extended period of time. So if you haven't looked at those, there are thousands or tens of thousands of images there, and all of them are absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here for now. So thanks, Bobby, for coming in again. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And I think I will get off this merry-go-round for the moment. I'll let it go around once and hop back on. All right. Take care, everybody. I will see you in a little less than 23 hours. Okay. Take care. Bye.